If you're watching this video, chances are that you're dreaming about homesteading or you've already started and you're sitting there thinking, okay, but what animals do I actually need to start with? Because let me just tell you, starting a homestead does not mean that you need 100 acres, a tractor, or a barn full of animals. Most people quit before they ever even start because they think it has to be complicated. And today, I want to simplify that for you. In this video, I'm breaking down 3 easy beginner homestead animals in my opinion. I'll also be talking about why they're beginner friendly, what they provide for your family, what they actually will cost you, and what nobody really talks about when it comes to raising your own food. This video is for beginner homesteaders, one-income families, backyard or small acreage homesteaders, and the people who really want to raise their own food intentionally, not perfectly. And I want you to know that I'm going to be clear from the start. This is not a romanticized version of homesteading. This is real life. This is intentional. This is doable. So let's start with number 3 and work our way up. Number 3 on my list of easiest beginner homestead animals is quail. Quail are extremely underrated. The reason quail are one of my top 3 beginner-friendly homesteading animals is because they fix a lot of the problems that you run into with chickens. First of all, they're very quiet, way quieter than chickens. So if you live in town, have close neighbors, live in an HOA restriction area, quail will often be allowed where chickens aren't. Second is they take up significantly less space. You don't need a coop, you do not need a run. You can raise quail in stacked cages in a garage, in a shed, or even on a back porch. Third is their production timeline is pretty insane. You can hatch quail eggs, raise them, and harvest them for meat in as little as 6 weeks, making this one of the fastest meat animals that you can have on your homestead. Now let's talk about eggs. Quail lay eggs starting in the spring, and then they slow down around the fall, and then once the time changes, they pretty much stop laying altogether. And when spring rolls back around, they'll start laying eggs again. And the reason that's important is because nature already tells you what to do next. Here's my honest opinion on quail and what I don't think is really talked about enough. Quail are expensive to feed long term. Their feed is significantly higher because there's more protein, meaning that if you're feeding a full flock throughout the entire winter, that means you're feeding something that is essentially not producing. So the most sustainable way to keep quail, in my opinion, is you get them in the spring, you hatch them, you grow them out, you harvest them and process them throughout the spring up until the cooler months. When they stop laying eggs is when you process the majority of the quail that you have. Personally, if you want to keep a breeding group, I recommend keeping 5 females and 1 male. That way you're not keeping an entire flock all through the winter, but whenever spring rolls around, you're ready to start hatching again. So what we did is we got some quail around August, September, and I raised them out until about a month ago. We decided that it is extremely expensive to keep feeding these animals, especially through the winter, and so we harvested all of our quail, and in the spring what we'll do is we'll get some more and we'll hatch them all throughout the spring, summer, and fall, and then we'll do the same thing again and harvest all of them and start over again in the spring. I know a lot of people will probably say that's a failure, but honestly, I think that's just smart decision making when you're homesteading and feeding a bunch of animals to be able to live off of their meat. Some of the nutrition benefits from quail is that their eggs are super rich and high in protein. They're also rich in iron, vitamin B12, and vitamin A. Quail meat is lean, it's nutrient dense, and incredibly efficient to raise. If you want eggs, meat, minimal space, and minimal noise, quail are an amazing beginner option. Number 2 is laying hens, and trust me, chickens are the gateway animal. Because once you get chickens, your entire perspective on the food system is completely changed. The first time you crack open a farm fresh egg, you realize very quickly that store-bought eggs could never. The color is different, the yolk is darker, the taste is richer, and suddenly you understand why people always say that food just isn't the same anymore. Chickens are one of the most beginner-friendly animals because they're hardy, they don't require a whole lot of hands-on care, and they provide you with daily food. Now, I won't lie, chickens can start to feel a little expensive because if you're starting from nothing, you'll need a coop, feeders, waterers, bedding, feed. But here's the thing, once your setup is done, chickens are relatively low maintenance. The biggest thing that you need to focus on when getting chickens is making sure that your coop and your setup is predator proofed. Chickens are basically walking snacks for coyotes, foxes, coons, owls, hawks, really everything. So whatever coop that you choose, make sure that it's secure. Use hardware cloth, not chicken wire, and make sure that you lock them in at night. Once that is handled, chickens are amazing. They're also very cold hardy, so if you live in a cooler climate, chickens are a solid choice. Here are some of the nutrition and benefits that chickens provide. Eggs are one of the most complete foods that you can eat. They're full of high quality protein, healthy fats, vitamin A, D, E, and B12. And when you raise your own chickens, you control what they eat, how they're treated, and the quality of food that you are essentially feeding your family. Chickens help with pest control, composting food scraps, and fertilizing your garden. They're not just little egg machines. They're really a part of the homesteading system, in my opinion. So that brings me to my number one recommendation for beginner homestead animals, and that is meat rabbits. Meat rabbits have been an absolute game changer for our homestead. We got meat rabbits a little over a year ago, and getting them has completely changed the way that we look at meat. Here's why rabbits are, in my opinion, one of the best animals that you can start with. First is that they reproduce incredibly fast. Second is that they're extremely quiet. Third is that they don't require much space at all. And fourth is you can grow 100% of what they eat. And that part right there is huge. Rabbits can thrive on fresh greens, garden scraps, forage, hay if you get it locally, which means if you do it right, you're essentially raising your own meat for free. Rabbit meat is lean, high in protein, and low in cholesterol. It is one of the healthiest meats that you can eat. But this is important. You must have a plan. If you don't have a processing plan, you will quickly end up with 50 rabbits, all with Disney names. And then suddenly you have a petting zoo and not a homestead. Rabbits reproduce quickly, and so if you're thinking about raising them for meat, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to take into consideration the mental side of raising your own meat. Harvesting your own meat for the first time is not easy. It is emotional, it is uncomfortable, and it forces you to confront where your meat actually comes from. But in saying that, it does get easier. Not because you care less, but because you care more. You start to respect the animal. You want to make sure that they have a good life. And in processing, you make sure that nothing of that animal gets wasted. And if you cannot be the one to process your rabbits, that is completely okay. In that case, you can find a local butcher, a friend, someone who's experienced, and there's 100% no shame in that. Homesteading is about intentional living, not suffering through things just to prove something. And now that we've talked a little bit about the animals that I think are great beginner options, let's talk about how much it costs to get started with all three of those animals, starting with quail. So let's start with the startup costs on about how much it's going to cost you to start with quail. First is the cage setup. This can be a DIY or you can purchase it. It's going to cost you anywhere between $50 to $150, and it could be more, could be less, depending on if you do it yourself, if you already have some of the parts, if you know somebody that's getting rid of a quail pen. Then you think about the feeders and waterers, which can cost you anywhere between $20 to $40. My suggestion when it comes to any of your animals is don't just waste your money getting the small feeders and waterers. You will be refilling them constantly. In my opinion, I think the best thing to do is just to go on and invest in the big waterers. It saves you a lot of time on chores, and it saves a lot of your sanity as well when you have 1,000 things going on your homestead. So when it comes down to how much the quail actually costs, one quail will cost you anywhere between $2 and $10 depending on where you get them from and what kind of quail that they are. So your average startup cost when starting with quail is going to cost you anywhere between, I would say, $50 to $300 depending on your setup, how many quail you're wanting to start with, and how much stuff that you already have on hand that you don't actually have to go buy. Now let's talk about their feed. Quail feed is extremely high in protein because they are considered a game bird. Feed costs anywhere between $20 to $30 a bag, and a small laying flock can go through about one bag every 4 to 6 weeks. So your monthly feed cost could cost you anywhere between $15 to $50 depending on how many quail you have. One of my cons when it comes to raising quail is they're not very food efficient like a chicken or a rabbit would be. They waste a lot of feed. Chickens, when they drop feed, they'll scratch it to get it up and eat it. Quail are not like that. If they drop their feed, they just drop their feed and that's it. They do waste a lot of feed. That would be probably my one and only con with quail. And that is 100% why I will always do seasoned quail instead of feeding them year round, is because of the amount of food that they waste and how much their food costs to keep feeding them. If they're not laying in the winter, then it just doesn't make sense for me to be keeping them on our homestead and continuing to feed them. Okay, now let's move on to how much does it cost to get started with chickens. Now, when I'm talking about chickens, I'm talking about laying hens. I'm not talking about meat birds in this video. That will be coming in a different video, but for laying hens, this is about how much it's going to cost you to get started with them. So for a chicken coop, it's going to cost you anywhere between $50 to $500. It depends on how big the coop is and how much DIY or lumber that you already have on hand. You can buy a pre-built chicken coop that could cost you significantly more, or you could build it yourself and do and have as minimally amount of cost as possible. Feeders and waterers are also going to cost you anywhere between $20 to $50. It just depends on the size. I will always suggest just go on and size up and get the big ones because it will save you a lot of time and a lot of sanity. Then you've got to think about bedding. A bag of shavings will cost you anywhere between $5 and $10. Then you have oyster shells or grit. I don't personally do that because I free range all of my chickens, and so they're able to go and get what they need out of earth. But if they were just sitting in a coop, I would be doing it a little bit differently. Bags of oyster shells will cost you anywhere between $10 and $15. Same with grit. So when it comes to the chick or the chickens themselves, a chick will cost you anywhere between $3 and $10 depending on the variety, where you're getting it from. If you're already just gonna, I apologize for the wind. It's a windy day. But if you're going to be buying laying hens that are already laying, you can expect to pay anywhere between $20 and $50. Relatively, most people ask around $35 per laying hen. Your estimated startup cost will cost you anywhere between $200 and $700. It just depends on the setup that you already have, what you already have on hand, and the amount of materials that it's going to cost you to get it started. Starting with chickens is going to be a little bit more expensive than starting with quail because they do require a bigger setup because they are a bigger bird. A lot of people at this point will get sticker shock, but just remember, this is a one-time investment. This is an investment. You're not throwing money down the drain. This is something that will pay off in the future. So when it comes down to feed cost, a bag of laying pellets will cost anywhere between $15 and $30 a bag, depending on what kind you get. A small flock like what I have 6 laying hens right now and 5 turkeys. They go through relatively about a bag a month, which will cost me about $20 to $30 a month. You can offset that cost a lot by letting your chickens free range, by feeding them chicken scraps, or by growing your own greens. All of which we do personally on our homestead as well. All of our food scraps go directly towards our chickens. I currently have my chickens on a winter food plot that we planted over our garden, and right now they're on that, eating that as well. We do let our chickens, we do a rotational grazing system with our chickens where we have them in an electric fence and they're able to free range and naturally forage for bugs, but only in a certain perimeter because of the amount of predators that we have out here. That's just to keep our chickens in one area, so it decreases the amount of predator problems that we have trying to get my chickens. Your chickens will typically give you anywhere between 4 to 7 eggs a week during their peak season, and depending on the time of the year. Chickens do slow down laying eggs in the wintertime. That's not saying that they stop laying, because they do continue to lay eggs, they just slow down in the winter. But during their peak season, they will be laying anywhere between 4 to 7 eggs a week. Your eggs will be a lot more healthier, they'll be a lot more nutrient dense. And pretty much, if you're feeding your chickens food scraps, your food is becoming their food. Those food scraps are turning into food later. So once you have it set up, chickens are an amazing animal to have on your homestead. I think every homestead should have a chicken. Once your setup is also in place, chickens are very affordable long-term animals. All right, so now let's go into how much does it cost to get started with meat rabbits. So some of the startup costs for rabbits can be a little bit different. So when it comes to the setup that you have, typically rabbits are housed in either a colony style setup where all the rabbits are just they're together, or they're in wire cage setups. Those setups will cost you anywhere between $50 to $400. It depends, like I said, on what you have on hand already, if you're handy, or if you're having to buy it pre-built, or whatever the case may be. Wire cages will probably be a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, they're a lot safer because nothing can get in there to your rabbits. And when it comes to the feeders and waterers, it's going to be about the same price for rabbits as it is with chickens and quail. So how much does the rabbit cost themselves? Most rabbits will cost you anywhere between $30 to $60 per rabbit. My suggestion when you start with rabbits is you get 2 does and 1 buck. It's called a breeding trio. So that puts your estimated total when starting with rabbits anywhere from $300 to $500, depending on what you already have on hand when it comes to your setup. So how much does it cost to feed them? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Rabbit pellets cost anywhere between $15 to $20 for a 50-pound bag. One breeding trio can cost you about a bag a month. And with that being said, you can also grow every single bit of what a rabbit eats. Now our chickens are in our garden and they're eating part of the garden where we planted the food plot. And then on the other half of it, that is where I harvest the fresh greens for my rabbits. And that significantly lowers the feed cost for them. Right now we have 26 rabbits. We have 4 breeding rabbits, and then we also have 22 babies that we will be harvesting in the next month or so. A bag of feed will last them a week, and when you think about that, that's actually pretty good when you're feeding them fresh greens, because the fresh greens is the major and biggest part of their diet. The pellets are just kind of an extra supplement. I would rather overfeed my rabbits than underfeed them, especially knowing that they're going to be feeding our family. And so those rabbits are eating the majority of what we grow on our land, and that significantly drops the feed cost. For a 50-pound bag to last a week with 26 rabbits, that's really good. But you can ultimately think that a monthly feed cost for rabbits, if you have a breeding trio, will cost you anywhere between $50 to $20 a month. And if they have babies, do expect that to be a little bit more, because babies eat more than the adults do. One breeding doe can give you anywhere between 30 to 50 pounds of meat per year. They also give you an extremely efficient meat to feed ratio. And to top it all off, they're quiet, they're low maintenance, and they're low space as well. But we need to break down the truth for a second, because anytime you get an animal, that is an investment. Homesteading itself is an investment. You're paying more up front for it to feed you and pay off in the long run. And so it is an investment. That is why it is extremely important to make sure that when you're starting your homestead journey, you don't want to jump into it too fast and get so many things going at once, because it is expensive in some areas, and starting small and starting slow will help you a lot more in the financial aspect. When you invest in homesteading, you're investing in food security, health, skills, and independence. And if you're intentional about what you do with your animals will eventually pay for themselves. So if somebody ever asks me, is homesteading expensive? Well, that answer solely comes from, are you thinking short term or long term? Because long term, no, the investment does pay off, but short term, yes, it is costly up front, and animals, no matter in their shape, form, or fashion, are not cheap. So now let's talk about how to choose your first animal. So if you're trying to decide between going with chickens or rabbit, you need to ask yourself one question. Do I want eggs or do I want meat? If you want eggs, start with chickens. If you want meat, start with rabbits. Both are excellent choices. Both can be done on minimal land, and both of them can feed your family. Just remember, raising your own food is not easy. It requires planning, it requires discipline, it requires emotional growth, but it is 100% worth it. If you're new here, I want you to know this. You do not have to do everything at once. You do not have to be perfect. And you don't have to look like anyone else's homestead. Start small, start intentionally, start with one animal. If this video helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody who's been saying, I want to start homesteading, but I just have no idea how. And if you want more videos like this, real, honest homesteading education, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are just ordinary people just trying to live differently. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.